What's up, boys? We got another Sports and Seltzers episode today. We're talking about NBA playoff predictions as well as championship picks. We got Darren here with us, representing the Kings. Ross with Miami. And let's start it off. Ross,
Hey,
you got
Tyler,
some
who
questions?
Who are you repping, Tyler?
Oh, of course, the Kings.
There it is. All right.
First time wearing it in 16 years.
16 years. All right, so let's jump into this, boys. We are going to start with the play-in. I know we already had a couple play-in games happen. We saw the Oklahoma City Thunder defeat the Pelicans. We saw the Atlanta Hawks defeat the Miami Heat. We saw Toronto lose to the Chicago Bulls. And then we actually saw the Lakers get in. So now we're going to look at the next matchup we got in the West. We got the 10-seeded Thunder. They're 40-42 in the regular season. They'll be going up against Minnesota, the Wolves, the 8th seed, who were 42-40. Darren, who you got winning this matchup?
Yeah, so for me, it's Oklahoma City Thunder. And I don't really know what's going on in Minnesota. Rudy Gobert and Kyle Anderson, that little kerfuffle at the end of the season. And then Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a great young player. It's a young team. They play with a lot of energy. Unfortunately, the winner of this goes on to play the Nuggets, and I don't think either of these teams stand a chance. So that's not ideal. But I don't like what's going on in Minnesota. They're good defensively, but and I don't think Anthony Edwards is going to play as bad as he did in the first play-in game. But with all that being said, it's just a weird team. I don't want to see him in the playoffs. I think Oklahoma City beats them either way. So.
All right, the scuffle heard around the world, right? That scuffle was everywhere. Tyler, who you got winning this?
I'm going with the same one. I'm picking OKC. I think SGA is just too good. The second youngest team in NBA history, I believe. Also, Rudy Gobert, I'm not sure if he's even going to play. I believe he said he wouldn't have even played last game because of back spasms, I believe it was. Still might not play. I'm not sure how that even helps them with the chemistry that they've been having, but I'm going OKC.
All right. Well, I actually am going to pick on the opposite. I'm picking Minnesota on this. I saw them play the Lakers. I know. No one wanted to win that game, first of all. I feel like it was an entertaining game to watch, but no one wanted to win that. I don't see Anthony Edwards having that bad of a game again. I know he's going against SGA. I know that's going to be a fun matchup to watch. I think that's going to be exciting. I think they're both going to go off, but I'm going to ride with Minnesota on this. I think maybe they pull through. I was iffy on this a little bit because I feel like that last game against the Lakers could drain them. And that might have just been them feeling like it was the end, but I'm pulling through with them. I'm thinking they're going to beat Oklahoma City.
Yeah, man.
All right, the next matchup, the East. We got the 10-seed Bulls, 40-42 record at my Miami Heat. 44-38 record, but lost to the Atlanta Hawks. So they didn't even get in. So now they're trying to face the Bulls to still make it in the playoffs. Tyler, who are you going with on this one?
I hate to say it to you, but I'm going to go with the Bulls.
Oh, there it is. There's one.
I also don't think this game is going to matter. Just like in the West, this is kind of set up to pretty much get swept against the Bucks. I don't see them winning a game. But yeah, I'm going to go Bulls.
All right, Darren, who are you going with on this?
All right, so this one's a hard one for me because if you look at Chicago, man, you got Patrick Beverley, Lonzo Ball, Alex Caruso, DeMar DeRozan, Andre Drummond. They should wipe the floor with the Heat, right? But I'm going Miami Heat. They're not as magical as they were last year, but I believe in Jimmy Butler. I believe in the Kentucky guys, Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero. So I think they're going to get it done. They're also home court, correct? They're going to be in Miami for this.
Yes. Yep.
I think there's still a little home court magic in there from the LeBron years. So I'm going Heat. Like Tyler said, it's unfortunate that your reward for winning this game is you get to a first round matchup with Giannis Antetokounmpo, who should probably win the MVP every year right now. He won't, but he's that good. So, but Ross, your Heat are going to go get it done. It's going to be great. I'm going to put some money on them, but that's about where it's going to end.
All right. Well, I guess I get to break up this tiebreaker. I'm obviously going to roll with Miami right on this. I think they will beat the Bulls. I think that loss, though, against the Atlanta Hawks was probably the worst loss I've seen in Miami history for a long time. That was just embarrassing. We gave it 21 rebounds to Clint Capella. And we have Bam Adebayo, who is a good center. I know he's not as tall, but that's just embarrassing. We didn't play hard. I think with Pat Riley, Spoelstra, I think this is a bounce back game. I actually think we win by double digits. I don't think it's close. I think we try our best to get into the playoffs. And like you said, we verse the Bucks, which you'll see my pick soon on that. Well, that leads into the first round. We got the Heat or Bulls, whoever you picked, against the Milwaukee Bucks. 58-24 record. Giannis Antetokounmpo, as we all know, averaging 31 points a game. I'll start with this one, boys. And I picked the Heat. So I think, I think if we had prime D Wade, like back in his prime, or we had some of these guys who could just come back, and maybe if we brought back LeBron to Miami and brought back D Wade, Bosch brought back that team, we'd have a chance. Just because I'm a Heat fan, I'm going 4-1. Milwaukee's going to take it. I'm giving my team one game. I'm giving them one game because I don't see us not winning a game. But it's just, of course, my heart wants to pick them, but I can't. Tyler, what are you thinking on this one?
I'm going to go Bucks, and I'm saying the Bulls will not win a game against the Bucks. The Bucks are – Giannis is Giannis, right? But, I mean, the Bucks are too deep. I don't see the Bulls keeping up with them at all. And it'll be a quick sweep.
Plain and simple. Quick sweep, right? Darren, what do you feel about this matchup?
Hey, similar to Tyler, man, I'm sorry, Ross, but I don't think Miami picks up a game in this series. Personally, I think Giannis could sit this whole series out. It might go 6 or 7 at that point, but I still think Milwaukee would pull it out. Giannis is going to play, and I think there's just going to be too much offensively and then defensively for Miami to handle. So I'm going to go a quick sweep. They're going to put the Heat out of their misery quick, and they're going to move on to the next round in Miami. So
I have a question for you both on this one too. Do you see the Bucks? Clearly, everyone here, even I'm a Miami Heat fan, and we think it's going to be dominant fashion, right? Do you see them giving limited minutes to any of their star players like Drew Holiday, Giannis, or do you see them just trying to go full force?
For me, I think they go full force until, third quarter, fourth quarter, depending on what that lead looks like. Now, credit to the Heat. They still have a lot of offensive firepower, right? Tyler Hero, not what he was a couple years ago, but he can still get hot. Jimmy Butler's a really good player. And you know what? In the playoffs, that team does have playoff experience. They went to the finals not that long ago. So there is some experience on the team. You still have Haslam somehow, wheelchair out there chugging along.
Rocking chair.
Exactly. It's rocking chair. So, there's a chance they could keep these games close, and then at the end of the day, anything can happen. And I think the one weakness with Milwaukee is down the stretch in the fourth quarter. That's the one place Giannis hasn't been great. So if the Heat can keep it close with some of that experience, I do think they might be able to pick up a game, keep it close, and keep the Bucks from resting starters. It's a pretty tough formula for the Heat to get there. But no, I don't think they're going to rest starters.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to rest starters either. I mean, maybe in the fourth quarter, depending on the score, also depending on the game. If they are sweeping them and it's game 4, take them out early. But yeah, keep the momentum going, stay hot. Go into the second round. With the inevitable blowout.
Yeah, there's going to be some blowouts for sure in this matchup. No matter who they face, Heat or Bulls, there's going to be some blowouts. All right, let's move on. I think we all got the Bucks on that one. Let's move on. We got the Atlanta Hawks beating the Miami Heat, moving on in, pretending to be a 7 seed, since we were 7 seed, they beat us, playing the number 2 seed, Boston Celtics. Celtics were 57-25 this season. Head-to-head, Celtics won 3-0 in the regular season. So they sweep the regular season. Darren, what's your pick on this one?
Yeah. So like you said, they kind of stole that 7 seed away. They weren't great in the regular season. I think 41-41, right? So I have the Celtics. I have them winning 4-0, just like the Bucks. I think Charles Barkley said it. You might as well not even tune into this Eastern Conference playoffs in the first round because it's going to be pretty boring. So I got a sweep Celtics 4-0. This is a really deep Celtics team. They play really good defense and they can beat you in multiple different ways. the best thing Atlanta does is they use the pick and roll with Clint Capella and Trae Young, and they can put Robert Williams at the 5, and they can switch off of that. And that's going to take away their main offensive scheme that they're going to run there. So I don't see a lot of scenarios where Atlanta can get anything really moving against the Celtics, and I actually think it's going to be an uglier series than Bucks Heat. So for a sweep Celtics, the Hawks will be lucky to pick up a game.
Hearing that too, I'll go into my pick because I picked Boston also, and I actually wrote on my notes. I just wrote down really because I don't think this is going to be a series at all. I read that. I don't even want to watch this game. You have Tatum and Brown. Boston's one of the deepest teams in the league. They got Marcus Smart, Robert Williams, Derek White, right? Malcolm Brogdon. They got so many studs out there in Boston. I think they will dominate. I think it will be a 4-0 sweep. Trae Young, he's too small. Someone's going to lock him down, whether they just throw Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum at him. Someone's going to lock him down. He's going to have trouble. I think last year against Miami, he averaged 15 points a game, Trae Young. I could see him averaging less this series. I do not see him. Maybe one game he goes over 20, but I think they lock him down. Tyler, what do you think about the series?
Same thing. Boston, just too deep of a team. So I actually think Trae Young will be held under 20. I can see one game, actually. I think Marcus Smart is just going to have an insane impact on the game. Trae Young, really the main player on the Hawks, and I mean, shutting him out, that's going to do so much. And I'm going to say Boston in 4. And tell you the truth, I think really the Bulls might have a better chance against the Bucks to win a game than the Hawks do with the Celtics.
Yeah, this year's definitely the Eastern Conference, right? I know we were all looking at the top teams in the East, and we're thinking, okay, well, there's going to be some good matchups, but these first-round matchups, it's maybe one more.
These first-round matchups are going to be tough. Yeah, Charles Barkley was right, 100%.
Yeah,
there's a good series, but we'll get to that one later.
When you get into those second-round matchups, I think that's where the East is going to become really exciting. But to Tyler's points about the Celtics, they are a super deep team. And, we're talking about Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Robert Williams, but Marcus Smart, man, he doesn't get much love, and he's annoying. He plays good defense. He gets under your skin. And I think, big flopper. He's kind of like that Patrick Beverly type player who just annoys you, So, I think he's going to be all up in Trae Young.
He could be the key for the game or for the series, really. I mean, realistically, if you shut out Trae Young, that's all there is to it. And I mean, the Celtics do have tons of guys that can, guard Trae Young, but I think Marcus Smart is going to have a huge impact.
And what do we say about guys like Marcus Smart? I feel like we always say he's a guy you
want on your
hate
team,
on other teams, but you love on your own team. He's that
Draymond Green,
guy that you want on your team. Yeah, because
Pat
he
Bev,
brings the
Draymond
energy.
Green.
The whole team feeds off of him. I mean, they built so much chemistry out in Boston over the years that this year is going to be fun for them to watch in the second round, right? Well, let's move on to the next matchup. We got the third-ranked 76ers at 54-28 going against the 6th seed Brooklyn Nets at 45-37. Head-to-head, 76ers went 4-0 in the regular season. I don't know if that's a sign or anything, but Tyler, let's start with you on this one. Who do you think's winning between the Brooklyn Nets and Philadelphia 76ers?
I hate doing it, but I'm always or with the Eastern Conference right now, especially. But I'm taking the favorite again, the Sixers, of course. I think the Nets. I do think the Nets will win one game, and the truth is that'll be a big win for them. They don't really have a star anymore. Bridges has been playing amazing for them, but they're going against the possible MVP and James Harden, right, without a superstar. So I mean, we'll see. I think it'll be Sixers in 5.
All right, and I'll jump in on this one then. I'm actually going – you said Sixers in 5?
Yep, I'm going to give the Nets a game.
All right. I actually had the same thing written down. I had 76ers winning in 5 games, a 4-1. Nets, they're young. Obviously they traded Kevin Durant, traded Kyrie Irving. Bridges is a stud. I love watching him play. And they do have a young core, but they're going to get overwhelmed by Philadelphia. I mean, Joel Embiid, I think he's the leading scorer, averaging 33 points a game, right? I think back-to-back scoring titles this year. So he's coming for that MVP. Then you got Maxey, Harden, Tobias Harris. I mean, they got some studs over in Philadelphia. And this year, I feel like they've performed where they should have the last couple years, really. I mean, Philadelphia's always had some great players out there, but this year they have just really balled out. And I think Nets are just too young. I mean, they got some up and comers for sure, but they're just not ready for this moment yet. They got draft picks, so they'll try to build more around Bridges and Cameron Johnson. But for now, I think it is a 4-1 76ers. How about you, Darren?
Yeah, who's going to guard Joel Embiid? You know what I mean? He's probably winning MVP. I'd be shocked if he wouldn't. And I just don't see anybody on the Nets that can really slow him down. I'm going to give the Nets a game, just like you guys did. I think, one of those games in Brooklyn, we know James Harden gets a little bit lazy and Embiid gets a little bit silly out there, right? So I can see the Nets being scrappy and pulling one out on the home court in front of their fans. But, I mean, I just don't see what they're going to do, right? And honestly, they should be lucky to be in the playoffs right now. The Nets have been kind of a disaster since, in my lifetime at least. They were the, New Jersey Nets with those gross jerseys for a long time. They traded for all those old Celtics players, Paul Pierce and Garnett back in the day, and shredded all their draft picks. And then they, did the exact same thing again with Kyrie, Kevin Durant, James Harden, and it's blown up every time. So hopefully they can hit the reset button here, a bunch of young players, but it's going to be 5-0 if the Nets are or 4-1, sorry, and Sixers win in 5 if the Nets are lucky. But it's right now our East picks are kind of like when you're doing March Madness and you're filling out the first round of the bracket and you look up and you picked and all of a sudden your final four is 3-1 seeds and 1-2 seed and you're like, oh man, this isn't good. So
well, I think I think you said it, Darren, pretty much by saying that they're going to win. On accident, you said 5-0. I mean, they might as well. I mean, if it goes, they might as well win 5-0 or something. I mean,
just don't want to see 3 sweeps, though. That's the difference of the top teams.
That's
in
a
the
question
East
to you,
boys.
Could you see a possibility of these 3 matchups that we just talked about all being sweeps?
100%. But I'm just giving the Nets the game just because I mean.
Crossing our fingers that they win 1 game, right?
3 sweeps, yeah, that's gonna be nuts. But 3 sweeps going on to the next game. Oof.
If Joel Embiid wasn't healthy and wasn't playing in the way he was playing, I would give the Nets a for sure 1 game. But because James Harden, we've seen him in the playoffs shrink, miss shots, that historic collapse in Houston.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But Joel Embiid, man, if he stays healthy through these playoffs, it's going to be a tough matchup for anybody.
And I feel like the key to the 76ers playoff run is actually going to be Tyrese Maxey. I think he's a stud out there. And like you said, Harden, we've seen him collapse. Tyrese Maxey, I think this could be his year where he just really shows out in the playoffs. And Joel Embiid will need that other guy. And if James Harden isn't going to be it, if Maxey is it, then 76ers could be unbeatable.
I feel like this whole time, Harden has had an excuse basically, on the Rockets. When he would disappear, he was the star of the team. He had to basically perform all year, to get to that point. So he always had an excuse. Then when he went to the Nets, and he was still performing like that, that's where it gets questionable. And then now, like you said, if he disappears again, I mean, Tyrese Maxey, yeah, he could be the deciding factor on that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, let's look at maybe the first interesting matchup in the East.
Yes.
Maybe I know right now we've all had the same picks, so maybe it'll change here. We got the 5 seed New York Knicks, 47-35 record, going to Cleveland to face the Cavaliers, the new look Cavaliers, right? And they were last year with Donovan Mitchell, 51-31. The head-to-head series, New York Knicks actually took it 3-1. So this will be a fun matchup. We got our first 4-5 seed matchup, and maybe we'll actually talk about a difference in picks here. Tyler, who are you picking on this one?
This one was tough. So this is obviously the only one in the Eastern Conference that, you really had to think about. But I'm going to go Cavs, but I'm going to say Game 7. It'll go the whole way. But, yeah, I got the Cavs taking this. This one is going to be interesting, though, the battle of the bigs, kind of like old school basketball. Mm-hmm. Mobley and Allen versus Randall and Mitchell Robinson. It's going to be fun to see, especially with a player like Randall. It kind of brings you back to old school, as much as you can with this style of basketball. But Knicks in 7, or sorry, Cavaliers in 7.
Cavaliers in 7. All right, Darren, who you got on this matchup?
Yeah, so I went back and forth with this one basically all week. I like the Cavaliers a lot. Jared Allen's a great player, and I really like Donovan Mitchell as that lead guard. They got playoff experience with Danny Green. It's that team, and they're playing great, right? So I think it's going to be a fun series either way because it's two teams. It's not going to be a sweep, hopefully. But I really like the Knicks in this series, and I'll tell you why. So Jalen Brunson is fun. He's a good player. He's electric, and he runs around, and he plays really hard. Josh Hart's got some swagger, and I know Julius Randle isn't what he's supposed to be right now. He's a little dinged up coming into the playoffs, but, I think he's going to turn it on a little bit, and I think the ones who punch, Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle, are just going to be a little bit better than the Cavs and Donovan Mitchell and Jared Allen. And so I'm going Knicks in 6.
All right, Knicks in 6. All right. And it was funny listening to you both talk about this matchup because, Tyler, you talked about the bigs, and then Darren, you talked about the guard, because these teams are pretty complete. They got some good big men. They got some good guard play. Tell you what, Dallas really misses Brunson. They really missed him, letting him go. That was a mistake because he has showed out in New York, and he's built for New York. I love Brunson. He's fun to watch. I'm glad he went there. He's just, perfect for him. This matchup for me, it was the same thing. I've been going back and forth. You guys both kind of said it. You got Julius Randle, right, on New York. That matchup will be fun with Jared Allen. Then you got the guard play of Brunson, even RJ Barrett, right? And then Davion Mitchell and Darius Garland. So all these matchups are going to be fun to watch. It's going to be electric. I think this will be one of the best series. I'm almost still going back and forth as we're talking about it because both teams just look so good. I've seen Donovan play in the playoffs in Utah. Other than that, I don't know how many of these players have played in the playoffs, really. I know Julius Randle, I think they did 1 or 2 years.
Yep.
Not too many times.
Did last year, right? Or was it last year or the year before?
It might have been the year before, but they were lower seed. Like they've never been this high up in the seeding and had this opportunity. I actually am going to pick the New York Knicks, and I'm going to pick them in 7. I think they close it out in Cleveland. I think it does go to 7 games. I think it could go either way, though. This is a tough pick. But I'm going to go New York Knicks in 7 games. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
How fun is it that the Knicks are good, though?
It's great for basketball. Madison Square Garden, obviously, to have Knicks in playoffs again,
especially in playoff atmosphere. Yeah,
that
like you
Madison
said,
Square Garden is going to be electric. It probably won't be. The last time it was this electric was probably Carmelo Anthony and J.R. Smith over there in New York. That was probably the last time it was this electric.
Hey, and like you said, man, Jalen Brunson is built for New York, so I think this is coming out party.
All right, let's head to the West, boys. This is where a lot of matchups get interesting, but let's start with the first one that's not so interesting, right? Let's get that one out of the way, probably. We got the Oklahoma City Thunder or Minnesota Wolves, depending how we picked it, going up against the 1 seed Denver Nuggets. 53-29 record. We did see them slow down towards the end of the year, so maybe one of you seeing one of those teams win. Let's talk about it. Darren, who you got in this matchup?
I got the Nuggets in 4, man. I'm not going to even tune into one single game of this. I don't like watching Denver play. Jokic is boring. I like Jamal Murray a lot, but I don't know. It's not going to be a fun series to watch. It's not going to be interesting, in my opinion. And so I'm going to quick sweep 4-0 Nuggets.
Plain and simple. Tyler, who you got for this matchup?
I'm going the same thing. Nuggets in 4. I will say this is going to be big for OKC. A super young team. Also, something that seems like doesn't get talked about at all is Chet Holmgren. He's not even playing yet. He's going to be. I mean, they're supposed to tank. Imagine them with Victor when
that
what I'm talking about. But obviously,
Detroit
they didn't,
really wanted him.
Yeah. So I think this is going to be good. Experience for. I can't remember what it is. I want to say they're the second youngest team in NBA history.
I think so.
This is going to be a great experience for them. Also, with how many picks they have next year, the Thunder are basically setting the groundwork for next year and so on and so on. But yeah, absolutely Nuggets in 4.
So on this one, I know I picked Minnesota. I think Minnesota would be an exciting matchup against Denver just because I know Jokic is just, right? He does everything for Denver. Points, rebounds, assists, getting all those triple doubles. He's insane. He's really hard to stop. Minnesota, they're fun. They're young, right? They're electric, but I agree with you both. Denver in, I'm going to say 5. I'm going to give, whether it's Minnesota or Oklahoma City, I'm going to give them 1 game. I think just them being so young and wanting it, hopefully they win 1. But I think all of us won't be really, we'll be going out to dinner or something when this game is on. We're not going to be really ready to tune in on this series here. So
this will be the background noise.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Whatever I'm doing, this will be on in the background.
Exactly. All right, let's move to another fun matchup, though. All right, these next 3 matchups in the West, I think it's going to be a lot of conversation. I think we actually are going to have a lot of different picks. I actually look at a couple of these, and I'm still like leaning towards one way. But let's start with the 7 seed LA Lakers, 43-39. Obviously, they played great the last 10 games, made it in the playoffs. LeBron James, Anthony Davis, they did great at the trade deadline, really revamped their team, changed it around. And they're going to Memphis. The 2-seeded Grizzlies, 51-31. We all know Memphis. We've heard a lot about Memphis in the news this year for a variety of reasons. Head-to-head, Lakers won 2-1 in the regular season. So, Darren, who you got in this matchup?
So, number 1, I want Shannon Sharp courtside for every game of this series.
Yes. Yeah.
Every single game. So, for me, all week I've been on the Memphis Grizzlies, and I'm going to tell you why. Steven Adams is an absolute stud. I don't like John Morant, but he's very good. Jaren Jackson is a solid player. They play with swagger and they play tough. But I've seen everybody pick against LeBron James in the playoffs for years and years, saying he's old and washed and all of this. And somehow every single year he comes out, he's dropping 40 points a game, triple doubles, making it look easy, controlling playoff series. So I'm going Lakers in 6. I hate the Lakers. It hurts my Kings fandom soul to pick the Lakers. But love LeBron James. I believe in LeBron James. He's healthy. Anthony Davis is healthy. And I think that those 2 are enough to get past this round 1 matchup.
All right, Lakers in 6. And I do want to say Steven Adams is likely out for playoffs. So if that changes your opinion at all, yes, he's likely out for playoffs. Tyler,
still Lakers in 6.
Yeah, it doesn't change that one.
So this was a tough one for me. So I'm actually saying Lakers in 7. I think it's going to go to the last game. But so the Grizzlies, they play with a swagger like how you were saying. It's going to be a super good series. Shannon Sharp hopefully will be for there for most of the games. But I think the Lakers with all that experience, and then LeBron just being LeBron. I think the Lakers are going to sneak away with this one. Lakers in 7.
As a Kings fan,
as a Kings fan,
coming from 2 Kings fans, wow,
that's tough to say.
Yeah.
Especially because this whole year I was expecting them not to make the playoffs
all year,
and the Kings were, killing it, and what a great time, also, Kings killing it while the Lakers were doing terrible. But of course, the GM, did some great magic once again and built another team. And then
that trade deadline,
right out of the trade deadline.
That trade deadline was
massive,
of course. For them. And I think, like you said, Tyler, this is exciting. I think didn't they say?
I think this is going to be
all basketball teams in California.
All in California made it.
All 4.
First time, yeah. But yeah, honestly, I'm curious. Has LeBron had an active trade deadline? When was the last time? Probably way back in his first tenure in Cleveland, right?
Probably,
yeah.
And even then, I don't know. I can't remember that long ago. But even when those Lakers teams weren't very competitive, they were still, making moves to bring in Russell Westbrook or whoever, right? Like they shipped out all those young players to bring in Anthony Davis. They're always making moves. And I think that does speak to, hey, he's almost 40 years old, but if LeBron James is on your team, you are competing for a championship.
Yeah, and also I will say my pick depends on if the Lakers can stay healthy. Anthony Davis, you never know.
Yeah.
And so I will say that kind of depends. If the Lakers aren't healthy in this whole series, then I will say the Grizzlies in 7. But a healthy Lakers, I think they're going to sneak away with this series.
And I think we'll just assume health for all of these. We'll just assume, unless someone's already out, we'll just assume health because that would be a big game changer. Just like you both, I went back and forth with this one a lot. I know you both mentioned how Grizzlies have swag. They definitely do. Was it last year when they played the Warriors, or it was some team? I forget who were they playing, but they tied them 1-1, and Ja was talking just because they tied them 1-1.
Minnesota?
I think it might have been Minnesota.
It was when Cat and Ja. Yeah, that's the thing. Actually, is I wish that the Timberwolves. I wish the Timberwolves would have played offense. At the end of the fourth quarter. And they would have been in a series with the Grizzlies. That would have been great. I would have liked to see that a lot. But
I think this will be really exciting, though. I think there's a lot of drama to it with it being LeBron and Grizzlies' young up and coming team, right? Oh man, I've went back and forth. I've picked both teams. I've picked the Lakers. I've picked the Grizzlies. I just cannot bet against LeBron James. I can't. I know he's 40 years old. I know he's played 45 seasons in the NBA pretty much, right? Tons of mileage, but I don't see him letting the Grizzlies win. I just don't. I think he will be extra motivated for this matchup. I think them being a young team, I think he's excited about it. I also think Anthony Davis will be hard to stop. I know he's a question mark, and I know sometimes he has his up and downs. Some games he'll go 14 points, 8 boards. Other games he'll go 25 and 14. Jaren Jackson, I know he's a great defensive player and can get blocks, but Davis could bully him down low. I mean, Jackson is really thin. He's not very strong. The one thing that does concern me about picking Lakers, I'm still going to in 7, but their defense is going to have to really tighten up because Grizzlies can shoot threes. Desmond Bane, Dylan Brooks, John Morant can attack the paint. Jaren Jackson can shoot threes. They got a lot of shooters out there, so they're going to have to constantly move, call out screens, and be ready on defense. Otherwise, they will get blown out of this series.
Also, don't let Dylan Brooks have a good game.
Don't let him.
Can we get Dylan Brooks off of national TV, please? Like, I know we don't like the Lakers very much, but I'm sure we're all just sick of the guy. So,
dude, don't let him have a good game. Otherwise, that's not gonna.
He's that spark plug.
No one's gonna stop talking about it.
He's that spark plug for him too, though. He's just like one of those players too, right? That gets that whole team energized. So I was actually surprised we all picked the Lakers on that one. And I guess that's the first upset pick that we probably picked.
How many games did you say?
Knicks. I got Lakers. I'm gonna go 6 also. I'm gonna go 6 because if it goes to Memphis game 7, I think Memphis takes that. I can't let it go to 7 unless LeBron just dominates. Which game 7 LeBron, and when he's on the verge of getting out, I'll tell you that game 1 is going to be a huge game for Memphis. You need to take game 1 at home. That's going to be a big game for him. All right, let's move to a really fun matchup. And I can't wait to hear the picks on this one. And you know what? I'll start on this one. We got
don't pick the Warriors, Ross.
Seed Warriors 44-38 at the Sacramento Kings. First time going to playoffs, 16 years, 48-34 record. Warriors won the head-to-head 3-1. Warriors coming into the playoffs, they've won 4 of 5. Kings have come in on a little bit of a losing streak. They've lost 4 or 5. This matchup is going to be – this is the most excited matchup I've wanted to watch in a long time, honestly. And I went back and forth with this too. You got the number 1 and number 2 offenses in all of the NBA. Kings at number 1, right, baby? 120 points a game, I think it is right now. And the Warriors coming in at 118. I think the key for the Kings to stay in this is going to be that defense. We've seen Kings teams over the years struggle sometimes defending, and in playoffs, you have to defend. And then, of course, they get matched up with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and the veteran Golden State Warriors. Warriors are first in turnovers, so they do turn the ball over a lot. They're averaging 16.3 a game. So Kings can take the ball away. I think that's going to be huge. They got to get steals. go on fast breaks, get some easy buckets. Warriors suck on the road, 11-30 this year.
Worst team.
And I expect Golden One Center to be loud. Darren, we're jealous. We know you'll be at game one. We expect it to be loud in there. I am wondering how many Warriors fans will be going to these games. We've seen the ticket prices, and I think sometimes these Warrior fans will be there. They're going to show out, just like Kings fans will in Golden State. So I went back and forth, and my heart honestly wants to pick Sacramento. I do want to pick Sacramento because I want them to win. I think it's great for the city. I'm rooting for them. I'm going to go Warriors in 6. I think Warriors take it. If Warriors let it go to a game 7, they will lose to Sacramento. They're not good on the road. They need to not go to game 7 if you're Golden State, because if you go to Golden One Center in game 7, I don't see them taking that game. It'll be super loud. I just think Steph and Clay will be too much. And just honestly, the veterans that they have on the team and then having been here before, I just think it's an unlucky matchup for the Sacramento Kings for the first round of who they could have faced to. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Golden State in 6. But my heart really wants Sac to win. It really does. All right, who wants to go next on this? I'll throw it out to either one of you.
I'll go first because Darren, I think he's got a lot more to say. So for me, I'm going to say what absolute terrible luck for the Kings, right? First time in 16 years, right? And they draw the defending champs. And you know, with Steph Curry, right? I mean, first of all, there's the Warriors team. Holy shit, is it insane, right? Defending champs, Curry with, you know, Curry, Thompson, even Draymond Green, all of them with that experience. I think, of course, I'm saying Kings in 6, right? I think the Kings are going to steal it in Golden State. Yeah, and I will say the first 2 games, especially the first game, that's going to be huge for Sacramento. So it's going to be the first time we're seeing playoff basketball. I forgot the meme that came out. First time Kings made the playoffs since the iPhone or something like that, right?
The Nokia little brick phone was the number 1 selling phone the last time the Kings in the playoffs.
Did you guys also see how there was a meme about Seattle Supersonics were in the playoffs before the Kings last?
Yeah. Whatever, man. Anyway, so the loudest fans, you know, in the NBA, game 1, they haven't seen a series, or, you know, they haven't seen playoff basketball there in 16 years. I think that first game is going to be insane. The Kings obviously lack the experience, but I think they're going to just feed off the crowd. Game 1 is going to be huge, and they're going to win that game and steal the series in game 6. I don't think anybody is actually taking the Kings serious and think they're going to win, but yeah, I think they're taking the series in Golden State, game 6, and what a time to be a Kings fan, you know.
Couldn't have said that better. What a time to be a Kings fan, right?
But also, what shitty luck.
Yeah, I think I said it. I think it was
the Western Conference is insane.
I think it was one of the worst draws they could have had in that first round.
But the truth is look at the West. You know, I mean, you know, I'm picking them to win.
Clippers would have been nice. Clippers, I would have preferred over Golden State, honestly.
Yeah. But I just mean the West. No matter what, the Kings are going to have a tough road. You know, when they win the whole thing this year.
All right, Darren, what are you thinking? Let's hear it.
Yeah, so I actually didn't write down any notes for this. I have notes on all the other matchups. I didn't want to take notes on this.
The notes come from here for you.
The notes are coming from here. I'll start off with this. No shock at all. I'm taking Kings in 6. We're gonna clinch the second round at Chase Center in the heart of San Francisco. And so I got a bunch of jumbled thoughts. You guys jump in whenever. I'm sure we're going to stay on this game for a second. But me personally, I was kind of the same thing. Like, man, what a shitty draw. We got the freaking Golden State Warriors, right? Like, defending NBA champion. Steph's got the rings and the playoff I think he has, like, the second most, like, active players, like, playoff experience in the league right now besides LeBron James. Klay Thompson is a stud. Draymond isn't near what he was, but still a ton of playoff experience. They have good home court advantage. But I don't want to go see us go in the first round and play the Clippers. I don't want to play the Phoenix Suns. I don't want to play the Memphis Grizzlies or whoever. LeBron James and the Lakers would have been fun, but I want to see us play the Golden State Warriors. I want to see us go to
What a
toe-to-toe
statement
with
that would
Steph
be.
Curry.
Yeah.
What a statement, right? First time in 16 years going in there. We were like 11, 12 years old the last time this team played playoff basketball. And so number one, I'm just excited, and I truly in my heart think that we can pull this game off. Game 1 in Sacramento, just like Tyler said and Ross said, this is going to be huge for the Sacramento Kings. Not only is the energy and the noise in that stadium going to be insane, but these players are going to feel that same buzz, and they had a home game to clinch playoffs and couldn't get it done. Right? They I can't remember what the second game was at home. It was for some other milestone, but we couldn't get it done. Right? So we haven't been great at home all season, and in some of these big moments, some of that youth kind of shows through for this team. But I think that stadium is going to be so loud. There's going to be so many emotions. It's going to be spectacular, and I'm going to be very disappointed if we lose game 1. But I am foreseeing just an onslaught, and then once the Warriors start to get behind in that game, I think the Kings are going to smell blood in the water, and we're just going to go for the throat, right? Warrior fans,
think too, in Golden One, I think how you were saying in game 1, I think the Kings got to manage their emotions, because that game is just going to be nuts, and there's going to be so many emotions for all those players. Bringing this to Sacramento, it's just the hype. If they build a huge lead, it's just contain those emotions. Kings just go out there, do what they've done all year. They're a great team. Go what you've done all year. Stick to the game plan. Fox and Sabonis, if they do what they've been doing all year, it's got ball out.
And here's the thing, too, man. Yeah,
go ahead, Darren.
No, you go, bro, because I got way too much to say right now.
Here's the thing, though. I mean, if they build that lead and just get a couple of defensive stops in a row, can you imagine the atmosphere in the arena? It's going to be insane. They're going to be able to feed off of that. And honestly, if the Kings do build that lead, just listening to the crowd, it's going to be insane. I can't wait to watch it.
I might actually shed a tear in the stadium if when it's just rocking and loud, and we got to lead a fourth quarter and we hit a big shot and Steve Kerr has to call timeout. I hope the Kings win in 6, because I'm going to be honest, Ross, I know you had the opposite take. If it's game 7, I don't care if it's at Chase Center. I don't care if it's at Golden One. I don't care if they're playing at Antelope High School. Steph Curry is going to break our hearts, take it out, step on it, shoot it from half court and swish it. I just don't want to play against Steph Curry in a game 7.
11 and 30 road record though too.
That's the thing. I know they're the worst.
He's still Steph Curry.
They're the worst team on the road.
But you could say that for all 7 games. He's still Steph Curry. He's
still Steph Curry. No, it's in.
But the thing,
true,
game
right?
7, I'm the same way. I 100% think game 6, because listen, that team in game 7 with all that experience, I mean, they're going to play to a different level. It's going to be nuts. I for sure don't want to see this series go to game 7, even if they are the worst road team.
Same.
I think game 6, I don't think Steph would let them lose at home. I could see it. Game 6, they would not want to lose at the Chase Center. I know they don't want to lose, period. I think this series is going to be the most exciting, fun series to watch, obviously.
And I got three semi-quick more points on this Sacramento Kings Golden State Warriors matchup. So number 1, Draymond Green went on there and he was talking about how a young and inexperienced team, not playoff experience. You want to go in there and you want to kind of kill that enthusiasm early, right? I live out here in the Bay Area. It is sickening right now. I have to go to work with these people. I gotta hang out with these people. All I hear on the radio driving around, there's Golden State Warriors flags. You talk to anybody, they're talking in the locker rooms, they're talking on the basketball courts, right? They all think this is the best thing ever. This is the best matchup for them. They're gonna sweep it easy 4-0, right? I think so. My college coach, when we were going in to play Notre Dame, huge underdogs, right? We probably didn't stand a chance, but he was talking about if we can just keep it close in the fourth quarter, all the pressure's on them, right? if we can win that, if we can win that game 1 in Sacramento, if we can put the pressure on Golden State, and they're like, maybe we're at 2-1 after game 3, and they're like, hold up, like we weren't supposed to be here. It was supposed to be 2-1 us right now. It's supposed to be 3-0 us right now, right? Then it starts to get, a little bit testy. Those booty holes start to pucker up a little bit, right? So gets a little bit tougher for them. And everyone's talking about, this is my second point, everyone's talking about how good or how bad the Warriors are on the road, right? The Kings are a good road team. So I think, and you know what? Like, it's not that far away. It's not like we're traveling to like New York or Texas or something, right? Like, we're going to be an hour and a half away from our home stadium. I'm hoping there's going to be some Kings fans at Chase Center. I'm going to try to go to a game if the tickets are affordable, probably cheaper than what Golden One's selling them for. But I think we can get it. Yeah, 100% they are. I feel like we can get it done in game 6. And then last point that I haven't heard anyone talk about is Sabonis is an absolute beast. And the Golden State Warriors, you talk to their fans, you look at their team, they're banking that Kevin Looney can somehow shut down Sabonis, and it's not happening. He's going to have a triple-double at least once. He's going to average a double-double for the season. His numbers this year are close to what Jokic put up in his first MVP season, and he's not getting a lot of the national media attention or the love. Fox isn't either because they play for the Sacramento Kings. It's just, it's just how it goes, right? But I don't think that the Warriors are going to have an answer for Sabonis. I don't think Steph Curry is going to want to chase around De'Aaron Fox. And if they put Klay Thompson on De'Aaron Fox, and you got to go chase around Kevin Huerter. Keegan Murray is a great shooter, best rookie shooter in NBA history. Harrison Barnes has NBA championship experience. He knows the Golden State Warriors. And guess what? We got the coach of the year, Mike Brown, who was in the Golden State's organization. They know the mindset. He's got Barbosa. I think Vivek was part of the ownership group in Golden State for a little while. So we got guys who know what this Golden State team is thinking, how they want to attack, kind of what their mindset's going in. And I think that of all the first-round matchups, the Warriors fans and like the Warriors team are probably thinking like, this is a great matchup. I think that this is a bad matchup for them. And I think the Sacramento Kings are going to take it to them early, often. We're going to play with energy. We're going to play with youth. We're going to play with enthusiasm. And just like what we said, that Golden One Center is going to be absolutely rocking on all the home games that we have. So Kings in 6, you guys add any commentary you want, but I'm so excited for this series. This is probably my most excited I've been for a basketball game in my entire life.
Like I said, I know I picked Warriors in 6. My heart is with the Kings. I hope they win. I hope they pull it off because that would just send the news world on fire, right? Having the Kings beat the defending champs, the Golden State Warriors.
Be the most national attention I've ever seen for the Kings.
Oh yeah. And everyone from then on out would have to put respect on the Kings' names and understand who they are. Because if you knock out Golden State, defending champ, you are making a statement. And it is time for the Kings to make a statement. They already did this year, making it to the playoffs. Keep going, right?
Hey,
they're
and
the
Mr.
third
Clutch.
seed for a reason. Third seed is high. They've won a lot of games. They know how to play basketball. So I'm rooting for the Kings. I am. I hope they pull this off. That would be so much fun and great for the city of Sacramento. It'd be great.
Mr. Fourth Quarter, Mr. Clutch, the first NBA's most clutch player, De'Aaron Fox. Come on. We got the team.
He's insane. Mm-hmm. Tyler, you have anything to add to this matchup?
Nope, had nothing to add. I can't wait. I think it's going to be, like Darren said, this is the most excited I have been to watch a basketball game in 16 years. I mean, really, it's the most excited I've been to watch a basketball game. When I was younger and seeing the Kings in the playoffs, it's not going to be the same. This is just, it's so great to see.
We Kings fans have been through it, man. And I kind of think about when the Warriors broke through, right? Because they were in the basement like we've been for a long time. And how good it must have felt for those fans to get out of that, win some playoff games, eventually win a championship. For all the Sacramento Kings fans who have, stuck with the team, continued to pay tickets, bought the jerseys, went to the game, supported these guys, right? Like, I truly believe it. And you hear it all the time from players and media that, like, these are the best fans in the entire NBA, not, of any sporting team. And I just think that, just the accumulation of the last 16 years of shoveling shit that us fans have had to do is finally going to come to a peak here on Saturday, and it's just going to be beautiful to watch.
And what a great moment too, because especially with the Kings, going through the ringer like that, all the fans that stuck through, this is going to be a great moment if they win, because all the fans that left, the Kings, they all went to the Warriors.
They're all Warriors
so
fans.
that's the thing. If they beat them and all these Kings fans from back in the day who hopped off and went to the Warriors, it's just going to be even a better feeling. And I've listened to the Warriors fans talk. So, living in around Sacramento, I've listened to Warriors fans nonstop. It's going to be great to hear them stop talking. I mean, I couldn't imagine what it'll be like for you, Darren, but it's going to be amazing.
I'm wearing this
going
to
to
work.
games. I think about even going to games like 2 years ago in Golden One, right? You would see so many more Golden State jerseys than you would Kings jerseys, right?
Yeah, and they don't
Whenever
even need
you
to
go
play
to
the
these
Warriors.
games, you would
And they'll
always
still be
see
Warrior
that. Yeah,
fans
there'll still be Warrior
wearing-
fans
wearing
out there.
jerseys.
So they will definitely be. I think, like Darren said, Sabonis, right? It's going to be super important. And Fox, those two stars just need to play great. I think it's going to be a really fun series to watch.
Hey, and before we
right.
move on real quick, Ross, Tyler, what ex-Kings do you guys want to see at this game? Number one, I hope Chris Webber is sitting courtside. He played for the Kings, the best years of the Kings. He played for the Warriors, fun player. I hope that Mike Bibby is there. I don't hope Velotti's there. I hope that he's watching from home safely and, is nowhere near this stadium, because if he was still GM, we probably wouldn't be here. Love you, Velotti, but we're not going there. But I hope we get a lot of those guys from those early teams. Kevin Martin, some of those fun players that we got to watch.
Would be awesome.
I hope the game, man. And you know what? I know this is, a lot of people don't like him, but I hope DeMarcus Cousins is there.
That's who I was going to say. My name was actually DeMarcus Cousins.
The thing that sucks is we never got to see Cousins in the playoffs.
Nope.
In
his prime.
He carried the team. Well, I mean, carried the team to the lottery. But I mean,
he was the main player, though. He was the heart and soul of Sacramento Kings.
I mean, without him, Sacramento wouldn't have even been talked about at all.
No.
I mean, Sacramento rarely got talked about. But
without him, wouldn't have got Buddy Hield, and then wouldn't have got Halliburton, right? And then the trade for Indiana. I mean, it was all a process, because then you got Sabonis. It was all a process.
Yeah, the Sixers talk
about
the process. I mean, it should be a contest with the Kings. I mean, this is a breakout season. I mean, I would say Boogie, 100%. I want to see him there. Someone else who I'd really like to see is Peja. One of my favorites, Brad Miller.
I was going to say Brad Miller too.
That guy is a lumberjack now. Oh my gosh! Yeah. But I definitely, Vlade doesn't need to be there. Vlade tried his best as a GM. I wish Weber would have got picked over him, but I'm glad he resigned. That's for sure.
Hey, and we could probably do a whole hour-long podcast or YouTube on just like the Sacramento Kings of yesteryear and talking about this playoff matchup and just everything Sacramento Kings. The last thing I'm going to say, I promise, is DeMarcus Cousins. Like, he doesn't get enough love. I think he truly loved the city of Sacramento. He was great in the community.
It was heartbreaking to see him get traded.
Heartbreaking, man. And what was so hard about that trade, I think, is he was good enough to keep us out of those first 5-10 picks, right? Because he was putting up 50 points a game at time, triple. Literally the whole offense was DeMarcus Cousins. And so he was good enough to just keep us, not quite to the playoffs and, but out of that lottery pick. So, he's one of my favorite Kings of all time. I hope he's there. I was hoping the Kings would somehow sign him for the playoff run.
That's what I thought too.
Didn't end up happening, but yeah, man. So, all right, I'm gonna get off the soapbox. Go Kings in 6. I hope it's Kings in 4, but let's get it, guys.
And just to piggyback, I was saying DeMarcus Cousins, Brad Miller. Those were the two that came to my head that I would want to see at that game. All right,
Scott Pollard.
Let's go to the last game of the West. We got the 5-seed Clippers, 44-38, going against the Phoenix Suns, the new look Phoenix Suns, 45-37 record. Head to head, they were tied 2-2 throughout the regular season. Tyler, who you got winning this matchup?
This one, so as long as the Suns are healthy, I'm gonna say the Suns. I'll say the Suns in 5 or 6. Suns in 5 or 6. I mean, the Clippers. It's crazy to think that the Clippers aren't better than what they are. I mean, look at their starting lineup. I mean, Paul George, Kawhi. They got Mason Plumlee now too after the trade deadline. I mean, the team is stacked. But I don't know. I just see the Suns just kind of handing it to him. Yeah, Suns in 6.
And then I'll go next on this one. I had the same thing. I actually had Suns in 6 also. I think LA will win 2 games. The Clippers will win a couple. I think Kevin Durant and Booker will just be too much scoring. I
That
don't see them
firepower is
being
insane.
that firepower is just insane. I don't see the Clippers stopping that. Is Kawhi going to play more than like 25 minutes? Is he going to play a lot of time in this playoff series? I mean, I think one time this whole season we saw him play like over 35 or minutes or so. So if he is going to play, I still don't see it making too much of a difference. Paul George, I just think KD and Book will be too much. Oh, and kind of CP3. I guess he'll be out there doing a little bit of stuff. He's a little bit older, but he'll be helping out. He'll probably still get like over 10 assists though. He'll probably still do something like that because he can still pass the ball. And when you're passing to Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker, you're going to get quite a bit of assists. I got the Suns taking this in 6. I think it's going to be fun games to watch, though, just because of all the star power on the court. When you got all that star power, it'll be fun to watch. How about you, Darren?
Yeah, so Tyler said 5 or 6. You said 5 or 6. I'm going Phoenix Suns in 5. One, I don't think Paul George is playing, and if he is, he's definitely hurt. So, one, they're either going to be a Paul George-less Clippers or a, limping Paul George Clippers. And at the end of the day, man,
and Kawhi's always limping.
And Kawhi's always limping. But Kevin Durant, man, I can't remember the exact numbers, but he was like the first player ever to have like a 55, 40, 90 season or something. Like unreal shooting metrics across the entire board for him. He's legitimately 7 feet tall. He can play defense. He can run. He can shoot. He can get to the basket. He can facilitate in offense. And now we haven't even touched on the rest of the Suns, right? I think this was a rockstar trade by the Suns to get him and really go for this, especially in the twilight of Chris Paul's career. And I don't like Devin Booker a whole bunch. I know he's a Kentucky guy. I think he's a front runner. But when you have Kevin Durant on your team, I think you can be a front runner because you're probably going to be in front most of the game or, most of the time. And I think this team is one that can make a lot of noise. They were hurt a lot of the year. Durant was hurt a little bit. Chris Paul was hurt a little bit. I think Ayton missed a little bit of time. And they're all going to be playing. And kind of just like touch on what you guys said, right? Like Kevin Durant's going to lead this team. Ayton's going to, just have to kind of do his thing. Booker's going to score, and Chris Paul's kind of that wily playoff veteran that, hopefully this is when he gets the monkey off his back. Unfortunately for him, this is the season that the Sacramento Kings are in the playoffs, so, they're not going to get the championship this year. But I do think they're a really, really good team, a complete team that plays offense, defense, and can control a game and a series. And I think, the Clippers are just going to be a little bit outmatched, and it's crazy to think because when Kawhi went there and Paul George went there and Patrick Beverley was there, and I can't even remember who else was on that team, but we thought the Clippers were going to, just be the next, that Golden State Warriors dynasty type team. And it just never happened. And now we're kind of looking at the back end of that kind of super team that they created. And they're just not all there. They played good all season, obviously, because they're a 5 seed in the West. So, they're not a bad team. I just think that Phoenix Suns team healthy, put together home court advantage. Kevin Durant in the playoffs. I mean, we saw what he did in the Brooklyn Nets in the playoffs. We saw what he did in Golden State. We saw what he did in OKC. He's the same player. He's just a beast, dude. So Suns in 5.
Yeah, and I think the Suns this year, they're 7-0 or 8-0 when Kevin Durant plays. So they haven't lost a game with KD yet because he got hurt in warmups, missed some games. So, and remember, this is barring health, all these picks, because now we are going to get into who we think will win the East and who we think will win the West. We'll start with that, and then we will say our champ. I know we're running on time a little bit here, so we'll go pick your East and West team, and then we will decide who you think will win after that. So, Darren, do you want to start us off? Who do you think's winning the East, and who do you think's winning the West? Barring injuries not included.
No, for sure, man. So I think coming out of the East is going to be the Milwaukee Bucks, and I don't think it's going to be particularly hard for them either. The 76ers, are going to be a tough team. I think Joel Embiid is going to present some problems. The Boston Celtics are going to be a very tough matchup. I think it's going to be a fun matchup. But at the end of the day, just watching that team play when they're firing on all cylinders, if they're firing on all cylinders, Giannis is just a handful for any team to deal with. And you got Chris Middleton who can just, steal your soul with some of those shots that he makes. And when Drew Holiday's playing at a high level, I just don't know how you beat that team. I think there's weaknesses to a lot of these teams. I just think that the Milwaukee Bucks weakness is the least of these three superpowers in the East. And then coming out of the West, man, the Kings fan of me wants to say the Kings. I'm going to be realistic. They're probably going to have to get through Golden State, Suns, Nuggets, Lakers, Grizzlies. Like it's
God, the
kind of
West
going to
is
be
tough.
it's going to be a tough road for the Kings. I'm happy with a season or a first round playoff series win. At the beginning of the season, we would have been happy with the freaking 8 seed, right? Like making the play-in tournament and getting to the 8 seed. So I think it's a successful season no matter what, and something to build off of. So love my Sacramento Kings. They're just not ready for an NBA championship run quite yet. But I'm picking the Phoenix Suns to come out of the West. I think that they have the firepower to beat Golden State. If Golden State does somehow get past the Kings, I think Kevin Durant would be a little bit too much for the Kings defensively, because at that point you're asking Keegan Murray or Harrison Barnes to shut down one of the best offensive players in the league. And I just don't trust the Denver Nuggets when your best player is a slow center. And Jokic is phenomenal. I just don't trust the Nuggets too much. So coming out of the East, Milwaukee Bucks won't be hard. I think the West will be bloodbath, but I got the Phoenix Suns coming out.
All right, Suns and Bucks. Tyler, who you got?
So I'm gonna keep mine short. The fan in me wants to say Kings and Celtics. That's been my dream finals matchup forever. Since I've been alive.
That would
however,
be a fun matchup, by the way.
That would be great, but I am gonna have the same exact picks as Darren. I'm saying
man.
the Bucks are coming out. So are the Suns. By the looks of it looks like you do too. So I think I think the Bucks are gonna. This will be later episodes, but obviously, I think the Bucks and the Celtics, I think, is what it's going to come down to, and I think the Bucks are going to be too much. And then, as well as the Suns, I think the Suns, the Suns are just going to. Ever since that trade, I think they're set for it. I will say it's going to come down to the Nuggets and Suns. That's my prediction, and I think the Suns with KD, they're just going to be they're going to be unstoppable. And then the Bucks and Suns, are we picking who we think's going to win?
Not yet.
Okay.
Next.
All
right. So I have the Bucks and Suns written down, exact same pick. Part of me, I actually did have trouble with this. I really think the Celtics could make it. I think we have a chance of seeing Celtics on. Celtics always give the Bucks. Celtics always give the Bucks. No, it'll be Suns. Celtics always give the Bucks issues. I think it was last year the Celtics knocked them out to get to the finals. So they've proven that they can beat Milwaukee. They've proven that they're a tough team. And so I was between them. I ended up with Milwaukee because I just think Giannis is just insane. The Milwaukee Bucks are just a deep team. I think that'll be the only interesting matchup in the East in terms of like who can stop Milwaukee. Celtics are the only one. So if Celtics somehow do not get past the 76ers, I think the road is easier for Milwaukee. I think if 76ers knock off the Celtics, then Milwaukee's road just got easier because I think they would beat the 76ers, no problem. But I got the Bucks coming out of the East also. I just think Giannis is too hard to stop. I also picked the Phoenix Suns. I'm actually shocked we all picked the same one. I just think if they're healthy, KD and Booker will take them all the way. KD, I think, is on a mission to win with another team that is not the Golden State Warriors. And I think he knows that this is his chance to do it and to prove himself and do it on his own terms and be the leader of this team, because I know Booker's there, but KD is the guy on that team. It's different than when he was in Golden State, I feel like. I just don't see anyone stopping that offense if they are healthy. I think it will be too much for any of the teams in the West. All right, now who we think is going to win on this. Let's see if we have any differences on this. And you know what's funny? We picked the Bucks and Suns. We are literally picking a rematch of the COVID finals, the one after the Lakers in 2021, I think it was, 2 years ago, when the Phoenix Suns and Milwaukee Bucks played each other. So who wants to start on this one? I'll just throw it out to anyone.
I'll start because I won't talk as much. I know I talk too much, so I'll start so I don't talk too much. First thing I will say, the talking too much, is my dream matchup would have been Kings Celtics. Kings pulling it out. What a good jersey matchup that would have been, and just like a fun like fan matchup. But I'm going Suns in 7. Chris Paul is going to get the monkey off his back. Kevin Durant's just a lot to handle, and I think Giannis is good, very good, like all world, probably a future Hall of Famer. I just think Kevin Durant is just one tick better, and I think these games are going to be very close coming down the stretch. And who would you rather have coming down the stretch in the fourth quarter to win the game? Do you want Kevin Durant or do you want Giannis? You're pretty good with either of them, but I'm taking Kevin Durant.
Giannis hits those logo threes. You better watch out.
Kevin Durant hits those logo threes.
Yeah, he does. Hey, his toe might be on the line though. Tyler,
Yeah.
who you got?
So this is tough because I've never been a fan of KD, Booker, or CP3, right? And so I want to say the Bucks. It's just that seems like a tough matchup, and it doesn't seem realistic. However, I am going to pick the Bucks. I'll say we'll go to a game 7 if this happens. I think Giannis is just he's gonna have to just pull some crazy stuff out to get that. But I can't say the Suns. I don't want to see CP3 win his first ring. I don't want to see KD win another one. Same with Devin Booker. I don't want to see him win. Hopefully the Bucks.
Don't go to a Phoenix game, Tyler. No. Don't fly out to Phoenix and go to a game there. I've been flip-flopping back and forth. We saw when this did happen, obviously it was before KD and in that finals. I think Bucks won in 6, if I remember right. It did not go to 7. I don't see who's going to stop Giannis. Like, I just try to imagine that, and you're the Phoenix Suns. Are you telling me Ayton is going to do something against Giannis?
No way.
I think Ayton is going to get destroyed. I think he's going to be mentally drained. We've seen that happen with Ayton before. I have the Bucks winning in 6 again. I think it's going to be a repeat of what happened in 2021. I think the Bucks are just all around a great team. Yes, the Suns have great pieces around. I think the Bucks have a little bit better pieces when you go past their stars.
We haven't even talked about Brook Lopez.
That's
Brook
true.
Lopez,
No,
yeah.
hey, he hits logo threes. He hits logo threes.
He plays defense.
Out of nowhere.
He's insane. Way
Out
to
of
change
nowhere.
the way he plays. Also,
Seriously, and I gotta give props to him because he definitely changed the way
he changed the way he played, and now he play. He's in the perfect situation right now, and
Perfect
the way
team.
he plays is absolutely perfect.
And I think in this series,
Although Trey Lyles would have beat that ass.
I think Drew Holiday is going to be huge in this series. If they're going to, I imagine they'll stick Chris Paul and Drew Holiday unless they go Devin Booker, where they might switch off because Drew Holiday will be a huge key in that series. I think he will have a good series. When you look past KD and Booker for Phoenix, and I guess CP3, you could throw him in there. I just think the depth for Milwaukee is a little bit better. I think they're just a better all-around team. And I think Giannis goes off in this series, and I got Bucks in 6.
Love him, man.
All right. So we got Bucks in 6. Tyler, you said Bucks in 7.
Bucks in 7, yeah.
Darren, you said Suns in 7?
Suns in 7. I don't like it either, for the record. I'm not a huge Chris Paul fan. I liked Chris Paul when he was on the Hornets, and
to be fair, I like Chris Paul when he was on the Hornets.
Yeah, and then like Lob City
fair,
was like Sun for a little bit, but then like once kind of like the end of Lob City, when Chris Paul started to get a little testy and like some of those bad teammate things started to come out, and then he the whole Houston stretch. That's when I started to stop liking him. I liked Devin Booker at Kentucky and haven't liked him since. And then I liked Kevin Durant until he pulled the softest move of any professional athletes ever pulled. So I'm not going to be cheering for them. I'm going to be cheering for the Bucks in this potential finals matchup. But hey, man, like I just think Kevin Durant's going to get it done.
Tell you what, I really miss those old school pinstripe Hornet uniforms. I used to love those back in the day.
The baggy shorts.
Shorts
down to your ankles.
Great. Yep, exactly. All right. Well, that's our first round predictions. Who we think is going to win the East-West NBA Finals. We will be doing an episode after first round to talk about our second round predictions and maybe how our picks went in the first round. It'll be interesting. Thank you for tuning in to Sports and Seltzers. Thank you all for watching. From Darren, Tyler, Ross. See y'all later.